Welcome back, y'all. We live, man. We are live. Look, man, this the Dawgg channel, man, where we do nothing but dog talk. You know, I had some situations going on. I had to push the time back, and I ended up hitting the live button and then ending the damn live. So I'm a little, discombobulated today, but but we in it. We in here. We are in here. I gotta see what's going on, man. I'm a little discombobulated today. Yo, 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 what it is? Ransom the Don Shabazz. What's happening, family? We in here, man. Look, man, I'm discombobulated today, so y'all bear with me, man. Y'all bear with me. Check this out, man. It's been a lot of talk going on, right? We got to get straight into it because I was a little off, coming into the live. So we got to get straight into it, man. And everybody know we about to be 2-0. Yeah, you right. We definitely about to be that. But everybody know, let me refresh something real quick. Hold on just a second, y'all. Let me refresh. Everybody know that I had to refresh the chat. Sorry about that. Like I said, I've been a little off, man. First of all, let me tell you what happened when I got off work today, y'all. So can y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, man. And if you can hear me good, is the sound good? Put a 1 in the chat. But anyway, man, check this out, man. So I got off work. I already knew, what I'm saying, it was going to be a long ride home because, I had to go get my meds from the doc. Shout out to the diabetics out there, you know what I'm saying? I had to go get my meds from the, all right, put the ones up in there, all right? So, yeah, I had to go get my meds from the drugstore, so I'm rushing because I'm like, damn, I got to get live at 5, you feel what I'm saying? So I already knew with the traffic, full 5 o'clock traffic, I'm going to be, So I said, well, I'm going to just reset it for 6 o'clock. Then when I get to the crib, I get set up. First of all, let me just say this. I was watching the video on my way home. I was watching Dawgg Post. I know a lot of y'all subscribe to Dawgg Post over there with Dean Leggett them. So what's good, my guy, Bobby Chulo? So yeah, I was watching the Dawgg Post, and while I'm in traffic, because 4-5 o'clock traffic around here is crazy. So I know everybody know to talk about what's going on. Like, let me state the elephant in the room. And I know a lot of us are biased, a lot of us dogs are biased, but let's be real. The elephant in the room and the biggest question mark right now, whether y'all like it or not, is Gunner Stockton, right? I don't know, I know, like I said, I know a lot of us are biased and we don't like to hear that, but I'm not a biased fan, so I like to keep it real. Gunner Stockton to me right now is the biggest question mark. Yeah, he, threw for a little touchdown that should have been like 5 or 10 yards. You know what I mean? It should have just been a first down, but he threw, thank God for Zachariah Branch, right? But, he scored 2 touchdowns with his legs, and that's great. We've all been looking for a dual threat quarterback, not necessarily a running quarterback, but a dual threat quarterback. And in my opinion, I'm just still not sold on Gunner Stockton just yet. We haven't seen him really use his arm strength, and in my opinion, I don't think that he has a strong enough arm. I'm glad Johnny Bootlegger threw Puglisi is probably the better option. I really think Puglisi is the option. But I was talking to a guy at work, man, and he was telling me, to be honest, Q, because I go by Q at work, but Major is my name also. That's my nickname. But he was like, I'm gonna tell you, they had no option. Kirby Smart them didn't have an option. I was like, yeah, I know that they didn't have an option. That was the only thing that they had was to use Gunner Stockton. He was the only one with the experience. So My thing is, I'm not saying that Gunnar Stockton can't be a good quarterback for Georgia. I'm just saying I have never seen a running quarterback win a national championship. You know what I mean? Shabazz Ali said he seems a little complicated. I don't know, man. I just don't see. I don't see what everybody is so-called seeing. Like, even when he was in high school, the ones that followed him, while he was in high school before he came to Georgia, he was a running quarterback. Like, he I don't see his arm strength being no better than Carson Beck. And Carson Beck had a good arm, but it wasn't great. You know what I mean? So I'm concerned with that. I'm going to just say that. I'm going to lay it out right now before we even get to week 3. I'm concerned with his arm strength because at some point it's going to be a shootout. And he's going to have to, step up and do his thing and do what he can do. We haven't seen that yet. I don't know if we're going to see it against Austin Peay either. Right now, Austin Peay is not, obviously Austin Peay is a cakewalk. But my thing is, a lot of people in comment sections are talking about, well, he didn't need to air it out. We were trying to establish the run game. These are all of the excuses they are using for Gunnar Stockton. We were trying to establish the run game. He didn't need to air it out. They didn't require him to air it out. My thing is, why not air it out with these two cakewalk teams? This is the time to show what you can do with these two teams. All I seen a lot of overthrowing. I seen he almost threw 2 picks. And don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing Gunnar. I'm just telling you what was shown Saturday. He almost threw 2 picks. He was overthrowing players. He put too much on the ball. And this is something that, like I say, I didn't want to talk about this right now. I just wanted to play out. I didn't want to feel like I was jinxing the team. But I got to express and I got to tell y'all how I really feel. This is the channel where we do that at. This ain't the channel where, everybody is biased and they come up with all the reasons in the world to deny what we seen on Saturday. And what we did see on Saturday is his ability to be mobile. We saw that, but that's all we saw. But hold on, let me read the chat. Cam won a natty. Okay, Cam, okay. Just like Eason and Fields were better than Fromm. Yeah. Gunnar is a running quarterback, period. Yeah, that's true. My option, the running game was off. Nate Frazier isn't the answer. You don't think Nate Frazier is the answer? I think Nate Frazier is good. I think him and Dwight Phillips. And I'm glad you said that, Shabazz, because look, it's a lot of channels that like Dawgg Post and all of them that's hyping only Dwight Phillips up just because Dwight Phillips did seem a little more explosive, right? But I feel as if Nate Frazier is going to be just explosive. I just feel like Saturday just wasn't it for him. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was losing yards. The only people that I saw losing yards was Chauncey Bowens and Bo Walker. Those are the only 2 running backs that I saw actually losing yards. I thought that Cass Jones, Nate Frazier, and Dwight Phillips did great. Will we see a 60-yard run from these guys? I'm not sure about that. We don't have a Sony Michel or Nick Chubb or Todd Gurley or even Zamir White or DeAndre Swift. We don't have that in the running back room. Will we see that? I hope we do. I hope we see one of those guys pull off. I love Nate Frazier. He's one of my favorite players on the team. But if Dwight Phillips come in and take that RB1 position, then it is what it is. I think Nate pretty good ground and pound yards. Yeah, I think Nate Frazier is going to do great. Shout out to Shabazz for having it. Everybody got their opinion, so I can't knock how you feeling. But I think this is just the first game, and Nate Frazier is going to have a breakout season this season. I think that Dwight Phillips is going to do his thing also. I just think Dwight just had a little better, he just had a little better game than Nate. I'm bashing him, Major. He got to show me more. Who you talking about? I got to show you more. You said Shabazz said I got my eyes on Dwight. I think everybody do, man. I think everybody's eyes on Dwight from what they was able to see. But I don't think Dwight is gonna be doing the same thing against SEC opponents. Like, I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I don't see him. Okay, we played Marshall, y'all. Let's add that into the fold. We played Marshall. We didn't play a SEC team. Oh, Bobby Chulo talking about Gunner. Yeah, like yeah, he got to show me more also. But this is the same thing that I was telling y'all last season, man. This is the same thing that I was telling y'all last season when he played against Notre Dame and he did mediocre against Notre Dame. And then when he came in and played against Texas late in the second half, I need more from you, bro. I need more from you. Yeah, he's a tough guy. Once he got his head tore off, he bounced back up like ain't nothing happened. I get that, y'all. But he hasn't shown us that he can throw the deep ball. He hasn't shown us that he can throw no more than 5 yards downfield. Like, let's be real. Maybe 10 yards. I'll give him 10, 15 yards. But he hasn't shown us anything outside of that. So this is where I'm confused on all of this. Oh, Gunner's the guy. Gunner's the man. I don't know if guys really watch these football games or they only watch the highlights. I think sometimes people do. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean to, discredit a dog. But my thing is, if you're watching the game, all 4 quarters, if you're watching the same game that I'm watching, bro hasn't thrown a deep ball, a halfway deep ball or anything for us to say that he's the man. Me personally, let me be clear. Me personally, and I said this in one of my videos, my last 2 videos. It might have been during the first half or the second half. I spoke on this with the Marshall game. If Ryan Puglisi ran with the number ones, Ryan Puglisi probably would have done 10 times better than Gunner. Because Ryan can run, and Ryan definitely got a better arm. But because of seniority at the University of Georgia, Gunner Stockton, has the job. Like, let's be real. I didn't want to talk about this until after the Tennessee game. I didn't want to speak on it but since we having conversation and y'all my bros, let's talk about this, right? If anybody go in they Google right now and they type in or they use the microphone and say, did Gunner Stockton score a touchdown in the fall scrimmage? He didn't even score a touchdown in the fall scrimmage, y'all. Okay, so let's talk about it. In the first fall scrimmage game, okay, they said the offense started out slow and the defense got the best of the offense. The second game, the offense got the best of the defense. But even then, Gunner still did not throw for a touchdown. But guess who did throw for a touchdown? Guess who did throw for a touchdown? That guy Gunner Stockton. Gunner Stockton threw for a touchdown in the fall scrimmage as well in the first game of the season. Luckily for Zachariah Branch, Gunner Stockton got him a little touchdown, right? And I'm just being honest, y'all. But I don't think a lot of us Georgia fans are honest with ourselves, bro. We just be so hyped and so glad and happy that we got a running quarterback. It's cool to have a running quarterback. Armando Black TV, what's happening with you, dog? What's happening? But yeah, man, we talking about this guy Gunner Stockton and what we got to see from us with playing Austin Peay. We have to see him air it out. These 2 games should have been the games where he aired it out. Everybody talk about, Mike Bobo ain't opened up the playbook and, Mike Bobo didn't, he wasn't required to throw the ball. We were trying to establish the run game. All of those are excuses. All of those are excuses. We ain't got to try to establish no run game against Marshall. We didn't have to do that. Of course, if it's not broke, then don't fix it. Of course, if we establish it and it's getting us where we need, we're getting where we need to be with the run game, of course, keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no use in switching it up. My thing is, these last 2 games, or Marshall and Austin Peay, we should have been airing the ball out. Now, I did say if we run the scoreboard up and, he throw for, but I said if he throw for 2 or 3 touchdowns, He had to throw two or three touchdowns for me to be fully bought in. And he barely threw for one. So I'm not bought in, man. I'm not bought in. Like, real talk, man. Like, I'm not hating. I'm not jinxing us. And I'm not trying to, make people feel like he's not the guy. But our real test ain't until Tennessee. And that's for all of the guys. That's for the running backs. That's for the O-line, because y'all already know, what's his name? Warren Gatson, he got hurt. So that's for the O-line, and that's for the quarterback. Now, Zachariah Branch, I think he going to excel no matter who we play. But far as that O-line, the running backs, and Gunnar Stockton, we will not be tested until we play Tennessee. Right? Just think of Tennessee's quarterback, Joey Aguilar. This man threw for 244 yards or 247 yards with 3 touchdowns, bro. Come on, man. His debut. Come on now. Make it make sense. Gunnar if it wasn't for Zachariah Branch taking off and using that speed that he had, Gunnar wouldn't even had a touchdown in this game. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm not dogging Gunnar Stockton, y'all. I'm not at all. I like Gunnar Stockton just like y'all like Gunnar Stockton, but I know Georgia football and I know football. And I know when I see a mediocre throwing quarterback, and I think that's what Gunnar Stockton is. Now, can he prove me wrong? I truly hope he proves me wrong. I'm not even going to lie. I really hope this guy proves me wrong, man. And I can come back on live or a video and say, you know what, y'all? I was dead ass wrong about Gunnar Stockton. He the man, right? But I don't see that. I just don't see that right now. You seen them last 2 drives before the half? Oh, what happened? I don't remember. Remind me, Ransom. I don't remember. He didn't pass the ball for over 25 yards the whole game. Google it. This is what I'm saying, Bobby. This is what I'm saying, bro. The online and the Gunnar passing skills is going to be tested on the 13th. Yeah. Like, real talk. Like, I'm just more so ready to see what they're going to do versus Tennessee. If he, like, my thing is, I don't see Gunnar picking away defenses. But if he does, then great. I'm all for it. But I don't see him picking away defenses. I just don't see it happening. First of all, we got two highly recruited wide receivers to transfer to us. First of all right, Zachariah Branch didn't have a whole lot of game time, but we knew that he was going to be a speedster, and we knew he was going to be a good addition. Okay, Noah Thomas, he came over. I'm sure all of those boys got broke off, but Noah Thomas was a little quiet in that first game, right? So we're going to need to see more from him also, right? Now, Noah Thomas was the leading receiver over there with the Aggies. So I'm expecting to see big things come from him also against Austin Peay. Now, we talking about Marshall and Austin Peay. You mean to tell me that he's not expected to air it out to show his arm strength? We got to wait until week 3? Like, I don't understand that. I don't get that. I don't get that, bro. I don't understand where we would have to wait until we play Tennessee for him to air it out and show his arm strength. Something seemed fishy to me. Very fishy to me. And the only reason Puglisi is not starting is because of seniority. That's the only reason, bro. The only reason. You can't tell me that Gunnar Stockton didn't throw for a touchdown in fall scrimmage, but Puglisi did. You can get on Google right now. Puglisi threw for a touchdown in the fall scrimmage. I don't know if it was only in the first game or the second game, but he threw for a touchdown, and your starter did not. Your starter did not. So this is, and I'm getting more and more riled up. This was not going to be a conversation or a live speaking about this. I was going to wait until the Tennessee game or after. But I just feel like, I'm seeing something that I don't know if y'all seeing it, but I'm seeing something that I'm a little concerned with, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little concerned with it because you're gonna have to throw that ball. You're gonna have to do what you got to do. You know what this season gonna be? In my opinion, what I think this season gonna be another dinking and dunking season. Just dinking and dunking it 5-6 yards downfield. It's not gonna be no no deep throws anywhere. I don't feel like that right now. If the dude proves me wrong, like I said, I will come back on a live or a video and say, yeah, that's the man, man. I apologize to Gunner Stockton. But until then, I'm going to just keep the same energy I got. All right, let me read some of these comments. All right, Shabazz said Bell must be hurt because he didn't show up against Marshall. Yeah, that's just crazy, bro. How, let me read another one before I get into it. Yo, what's good, fam? What's good, man? See, what's happening with you? Ransom said he definitely needs to show something. The passing game we load. See, everybody already know. Everybody on my team with this. Everybody on my team with. Can't nobody really deny it, bro. If you watch the first half, you cannot deny that. Dude almost threw 2 picks. He was overthrowing players. Oh, matter of fact, he had Oscar Depp running back to the ball. Like, come on, man. Like, let's be realistic. You know what I'm saying? Armando Black TV said, yep, I agree. Puglisi is a better quarterback. He definitely is. If you look at it, and you can just go to his, see, when I established the mindset that Puglisi was better through his high school highlights. I watched his high school highlights, and also, you know, I watched Gunner, and I realized that, wait a minute now, Puglisi looks better than Gunner. You know what I mean? Like, real talk. He looks a lot better than Gunner and Gunner was supposed to go to South Carolina. Let me not go too hard. Let me not go too hard, y'all. Let me not go too hard. Let me chill. Main C said, I don't think he's an intermediate passer. I just don't know how well of a passer he is, y'all. I really don't. Yeah, he threw for what? They said 190 yards. Man, look. The hype that I've been hearing, I didn't see it last Saturday. I just didn't see it. Me personally, I need to see Georgia with a dual threat quarterback. I am tired of seeing these one-dimensional quarterbacks. Either you got a quarterback that can run or either you got a quarterback that can throw. I need to see a dual threat quarterback, man. I am tired. We had a little glimpse of it with Ready Steady. We had a good time. 1-2 back-to-back with Steady. But like I've been telling y'all, nowadays in this climate of college football, you're gonna have to have a dual threat quarterback in order to win that national championship. Now, the Nationals is a little far off. Do I see Gunner possibly winning the SEC championship? Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah, I could see it happening. Dinking and dunking down the field. Yeah, I could see that happening. We done it before, you know. But to be a national champion, man, we gonna need more than dinking and dunking, man. We gonna need more than that, bro. I ain't lying. Excuse me, y'all. Y'all know I be smoking on live. We gonna need to see more, y'all. Real talk. We got to see more, man. Austin Peay. We talking about Austin Peay that murdered Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee, they have a defense. They didn't have an offense. Hey, man, I watched the highlights. I wanted to watch it with y'all, but copyright reasons, I had to take it down. Hey, man, these guys didn't even have highlights, bro. They might have had 1 or 2. I think they had like 1 highlight. You know, when you go back and watch the highlights or whatever, they'll put highlights on each team depending on what they did. Middle Tennessee had no highlights, bro. They brutalized Middle Tennessee. The same thing we gonna do to them Saturday, by the way. But my thing is, this is Austin Peay. Air the ball out. Air it out. You got to air it out. We can't keep making excuses. Oh, Mike Bobo ain't expecting him to air it out. He don't have to air it out because it's just Austin Peay. Man, when you preparing for a team like Tennessee or whatever team in the SEC, when you're preparing, you got to play like you come to play. It ain't no stalling or we just bullshitting around until we get to the... No, ain't no bullshitting around. Ain't no bullshitting around. We got to do what we got to do. Shabazz said, my opinion, Gunner is gonna check it down and see what he gets. I'm all for that. You know what I mean? Take what the defense give you. I'm all for that. My thing is, you're gonna have to shoot it out at some point. You're gonna have to throw the deep ball at some point. He didn't even look as accurate throwing the mid-range ball. So how is he gonna, throw the deep ball? And I could be jumping the gun. I do that sometimes. I jump the gun, but I don't know, bro. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun on this one. Yeah, and hey, Armando TV said Derek Mason is gonna load the box on Gunner. And when he load the box, guess what that's gonna force Gunner to do? And we better hope he don't throw a pick. He gonna test you and make you see if you can throw that ball. Load the box up. And that's my thing, y'all. That's my thing. I know I'm getting a little hype. I'm gonna tone it down. That's my thing, bro. I don't see Gunner. I don't see a deep ball. Like we gotta see it at least against Austin Peay. Like, how are we supposed to know what this team can do if we don't see it? How we know what this team is gonna do if you don't show it? Yeah, we won 48-7 or whatever against Marshall, but we were supposed to do that. But what the quarterback was supposed to do is show us how well he could do, not only with his legs, but with his arm. Now, what did Puglisi do when he got in the game? I'll wait. Puglisi looked like what Gunner should have looked like in the first half. That's what Puglisi looked like. Yeah, they're going to make him beat him downfield. And can Gunner beat anybody downfield? Do we know if Gunner can beat anybody downfield? Well, let's see come Saturday, because last Saturday we can't judge it just based on last Saturday. We can only judge it this coming Saturday. My opinion, Gunner is Beck 2.0. I love Georgia, but I think Gunner doesn't have it. Me neither, bro. But we don't want to jump the gun, y'all. Like, let me not do that. I know I'm raising my voice. I know I'm talking loud. I'm real passionate about them dogs. But if we don't see him not gun it out, but shoot it out with Austin Peay, not even a shootout, but throw the deep ball against Austin Peay, then I don't know what to think. Those first two games are supposed to tell you what your quarterback is looking like. And outside of his legs, we don't really know what he looks like. Also, okay, so I don't think I finished the conversation I was having about Dean Legge on Dawgg Post. I know a lot of y'all subscribe to them too, right? He said he was talking to somebody that, I don't know, in or around the program, used to work for the program, something like that. But they must have been important enough for him to, bring it to the Dawgg Post, right? And they talked about Gunner, his game, and everybody's pretty much saying the same thing, because we didn't get to see Gunner for what everybody is saying like he is, but we didn't get to see it against Marshall. So we have to see it versus Austin Peay. If we don't see it against Austin Peay, then we're going to be having this same conversation again. Like, I hate to have this same conversation again. I had this same conversation with y'all last season. Put the one in the chat if you remember. Last season, we had this same conversation about Gunner Stockton, about me not being sold on Gunner Stockton's game. Yeah, Beck definitely a better passer than Gunner. Beck got NFL talent in his arm. Beck is way more accurate. You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear. Let's just get it out the way, because I know everybody's going to make it seem like Beck wasn't a good quarterback for Georgia. Beck was a great quarterback for Georgia. Beck just didn't have the talent around him. Like, let's stop acting like he had some guys around him. If Beck would have had Zachariah Branch and Noah Thomas, National champions. National champions. National champions. If Beck would have had the guys that we got right now, national champions. Nobody could tell me nothing different. Nobody can tell me nothing different. Main C said I wasn't sold. I think you saying I wasn't sold on Bennett until he won it. Nah, I wasn't sold on Bennett either. Like nobody was. I mean, it was a lot. Oh, speaking of Bennett, the same thing that was happening to Bennett was happening to Gunner also with the getting the ball batted down. He's so short, he can't see over the linemen. So that's another issue. Outside of the overthrowing, outside of the throwing bullets, putting so much on the ball for what reason, and outside of almost throwing 2 picks, he getting the ball batted down, bro. He barely can see over his lineman. So, you know, I was trying to tell y'all all last season how I was Team Beck. Everybody was trying to hate on, not saying y'all, but it was a lot of people hating on my guy Beck. But I tried to tell y'all last season, and I'm telling y'all now, it was not Carson Beck. Yeah, he was put in position where he tried to wear the team on his shoulders, and he was making, you know, bonehead ass plays, but he was trying to get it done. He didn't have anything to get it done with, so he was just trying to. Aaron Smith barely can catch the ball. You know what I mean? Dylan Bell, I don't know what's going on with him. You know, I mean, it was just, it just wasn't, he didn't have who we have now. And if you don't get it done with the guys that we have now, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. If you don't get it done. Now, like I say, do I see us possibly winning the SEC championship? Yeah, I can see that. But winning the Natty, bro, I don't know right now. Obviously, it's too early, but if we don't see more from this quarterback, I don't think it's gonna happen. Right? Now, I don't consider myself jumping the gun because it don't take you to get to the team that's gonna test you to show your capabilities. What are you hiding it for? If it's Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo, what are they hiding the talent for? What reason? These are the 2 games that you should be highlighting how good your arm is. Am I right or am I wrong? The playbook is totally different. Yeah, you can kind of like not pull out the whole playbook. I understand that. But showing your quarterback's throwing ability as well as his mobile ability, we should have seen that game 1. We beat the team 48-7. We should have seen more than just him using his legs. I don't think Dylan Bell upset. I think Dylan Bell is going through something. I don't think he's upset about Zachariah Branch. I think he's just going through something. Dylan Bell, he fell off last season, obviously. I thought Dylan Bell was going to be one of the go-to guys, kind of like how Kearis Jackson had to step up. Y'all remember that? How he had to step up, right? You know, with Stetson. I thought he was going to be that reliable workhorse, but things change. You know, players go through things, but I don't think it has anything to do with Zachariah Branch. Isn't Bell the third receiver on the trial? I think so. I think Dylan Bell is, but I mean, I don't see how because ain't nobody else done nothing outside of Zachariah Branch. Let's just be real. You know, we only in the second game. I don't see how he would be third. You know, he could be because, you know, Zachariah Branch and Noah Thomas was getting a lot of hype around them. You know, I think a lot of the hype was coming mainly from guys that was just glad that those 2 guys transferred to Georgia. But he could be, honestly, you know, third on the depth chart. He could be. Mono Black D said, I'm not sure if we can beat LSU or Texas right now, in my opinion. I believe we can beat both of those teams. Right now, I'm not sure. So I agree with you, you know, kind of sort of right now. But I believe that Gunner is going to get a little better. I don't see us I don't know. Yeah, you could be right, Mondo. You could be right. But right now, I just don't know right now, being that, this is week 2, coming into week 2. I just don't know right now. But if we don't see nothing from him against Austin Peay, what are we supposed to expect against teams like Tennessee, LSU, Texas, even Bama? We have to see something from him. Those 2 running touchdowns was not enough. I don't know what a lot of these. I'm glad that y'all rocking with me though, because y'all know football. I can tell that y'all know football, right? I know that y'all know football. And a lot of people, like I say, I don't know if they just watch highlights or they hearsay from different people. But if you watch game 1 against Marshall, that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Mono TV said Humphreys is more reliable than Bell, in my opinion. Yeah. We just got to find ways to get them open, man. Like, it just seemed like we can't seem to get guys open, bro. I don't understand what's going on. I'm not going to blame it on Mike Bobo, but I don't understand why we can't seem to get guys open. Even when Zachariah Branch was doing his thing, it was on screen plays, a little 5-yard down, it was nothing, where guys is wide open. We need to get these guys open, man. And then when we do get a guy open, like Oscar Delp, he got to run back to the ball, at least 3 yards back to the ball. I don't know what else to say about it. Guess who I was just talking to? Speaking of Bama, right? I was just talking to, let me see. I ain't gonna show y'all let me see if y'all can't see it. But y'all can see the name. KB. I was just talking to KB, man. The last text message he sent me, I told him, well, the last few texts we text, I said, yeah. He said, man, it's ULM. I still got my doubts against them after what I saw Saturday, speaking on Bama. I said, yeah, man, we can't let the SEC get out of control, man. Georgia and Bama is supposed to control this shit. He was like, the boy trying to turn Bama into the West Coast team. That shit don't work in the South. I said, hell no. Send his ass back to the West. He said, exactly. I said, I never thought I'd see the day, man. Even though I'm a dog, I'm used to seeing better from Bama. He said, man, we look bad. Looking at Saturday, we got several losses coming. Damn. If Kangaroo Black saying this right now, then it's got to be something crazy. It's got to be. You know what I mean? And I don't want to talk about Bama, but at the same time, we can't let the SEC get out of control, y'all. We can't do that. Yeah, Kangaroo almost passed out. Yeah, he did. The biggest, you said, Marno Black TV said, those bigger UGA podcasters are controlled by corporations. They have to sugarcoat things and not be critical. Yeah, I know, right? I know. I'm glad you spoke on that, Armando. I'm glad you spoke on that, because I be trying not to throw shade, bro. But it's a lot of fabrications coming from these Georgia YouTube podcasters or channels or whatever. It's a lot of fabrication, bro. Instead of doing what I'm doing right now, they will not tell you the real truth. And like you said, they, controlled by corporations. I get it. I'm not controlled by anybody. Nobody controls me. So I'm going to state the facts and I'm going to keep it real, But my thing is that we're not going to get nowhere by sugarcoating and not telling the truth. We're not going to get nowhere. We just going to be lying to the people. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not for that. I am a dog through and through. I'm not going to sit back and lie and be all biased and hype everybody. Everybody was so hyped about Gunna. They were so hyped about Gunna. And I'm sitting back in my room watching, and I'm like, looking at comment sections, I'm like, why? What are y'all hyped about? About what? This is Marshall that we played, and he barely threw for a touchdown. No, they can't keep it real like us. That's why I'm glad I do what I do, and I'm over here on this side, because we got to bring the real to the Georgia coverage. Like, there's no real Georgia coverage. Everybody is being so politically correct. Like you said, the corporations is driving them to be biased and not tell the truth. But I am not drove by anybody. So it take guys like me, Mondo Black TV, and other guys to, it's not even a lot of us. That's what I hate about it, because it's not a lot of us. It's a lot, like I say, it's a lot of guys that fabricate the truth. And shout out to all of those guys too, because we do get a lot of intel from them. You know what I mean? They are respectable, and they do, give us a lot of intel. But at the same time, a lot of the intel that I get, I don't get it from them, because like I say, it don't seem like they are covering the dogs the way they should be. But this is not about them. Let's not make this about them, man, because I don't want to throw no shade or make anybody feel no type of way. Support all of those channels, because we all are dogs at the end of the day. But at the same time, if I got to be the black sheep out of the bunch, then that's what it is. But I'm going to always tell the truth about my dogs. And at the end of the day, if I see flaws in them, which I don't see flaws in the dogs. I don't see that at all. I see flaw in our quarterback. Yeah, that's true. Mondo Black TV said they will lose their sponsorship if they start telling the truth and calling the BS out. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, you right on point with that, because there be a lot of stuff that I be like, come on now, you don't have nothing negative to say, nothing. You're not like, it take them to lose games for these channels to really have something negative to say per se about the dogs. It take for us to lose games, but they don't state the obvious. Like, I feel like that's what I'm doing right now, is state that. I think a lot of people are scared though. Like, a lot of people are scared, that even the ones that aren't sponsored by somebody, I think a lot of them are scared to speak the truth or, state the obvious. But the obvious to us and to me is that the only question mark is the Georgia Bull is Gunnar Stockton. He's the only question mark. He's the only question mark. But it is what it is, man. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I like I said, I don't want to seem to go so harsh on dude, but just in my opinion, I just feel like he got to do better. He in this game against Austin Peay, he's got to air it out, man. He's done showed us what he can do with his legs. He's okay with his legs. He ain't the fastest guy I ever seen. He ain't the fastest quarterback I ever seen. But he got to show us more, man. You got to do more. You got to do more. Now, we not talking like we're not a team that's not looking to play for SEC or national championship every year. We're not one of those teams that's not looking to do that. So our critique is real critique. Like, dude gotta do better. Like, come on, man. There were only two quarterbacks in the SEC or in our regular schedule that did better than Gunnar Stockton. That's Joey Aguilar and to be honest, Tyler Simpson. They lost to Florida State, and he still threw for 244 yards and I think like 2 touchdowns. How does that look? And somebody in one of those comments said, well, Gunnar almost threw for 200 yards. Oh my God, bro. Are we wanting to be elite or regular? Are we supposed to be trying to be elite, or are we supposed to be regular, man? Like, which one you want? Because I'm looking for our team to be elite, both sides of the ball. Jabbar said offense line was okay, but the defense was flying. Watch out for number 19 on the that's Chris Cole, ain't it? My opinion, I don't think it's Gunner. I think it's Bobo and Kirby. Tell us why you think it's Bobo and Kirby, Shabazz. I ain't never. This is the first time hearing something. Hearing that. Tell us why you think it's Bobo and Kirby. Me personally, I can. I don't know. I don't know why it would be Gunner and Kirby. Bobo and Kirby. Only thing that I could say on why it could be Bobo and Kirby is because you starting a quarterback just because he had 2 games of experience. I don't find that a reason to start a quarterback. We criticized them though at one point in time, but it wasn't Bobo at the OC position. It was Todd Monken. But we did criticize them for having Stetson Bennett or starting Stetson Bennett. But Todd Monken was the OC at that time. But we did criticize them a whole lot. We did. Everybody criticized the decision making to make Stetson Bennett the starting quarterback. But I don't know if this is going to be the same situation. I don't know if he's going to turn around and help us win 2 natties back to back. I don't know if I see that from Gunner Stockton, right? I don't think that's going to happen. I want it to be a complete dog fight. I don't want Ryan Puglisi to leave, because my thing is when a player feels he's better, 9 times out of 10 he's going to leave. So you got Ryan Puglisi, you got Ryan Montgomery, you got Hezekiah Millender, who they don't talk about, which is crazy. We will be reviewing or doing a reaction. I'm gonna be doing a reaction video on Hezekiah Millender's high school highlights tomorrow. So I'm gonna drop that tomorrow. I'm not gonna go live, but I'm gonna just do a reaction video. I feel like he needs to be spoken about in this fold, in this depth chart. I don't know why he's being skipped over. Maybe because he wasn't, 5-star or anything like that. But I just think that Hezekiah Millender should be given a shot also. I don't see why we keep running into this situation. You know how long we've been running into a quarter? Look, man, at the end of the day, I love Kirby Smart. But Kirby Smart is a defensive-minded type of coach. Ever since he's been at Georgia, we've been having a quarterback problem. Tell me if I'm wrong. We've been having a quarterback problem. We've been having it. He makes the last decision, right? It's I hate to go at Kirby. I ain't gonna lie. I hate to go at Kirby, but my opinion is he does not make great decisions when it comes to the quarterback position. Him or whoever, like I said, we went at him, 21-22, but they were right. Like, that's why I don't go at it a lot about Kirby, because sometimes they right, but sometimes they wrong. Jake Fromm, Justin Fields. I trust Kirby. Don't get me wrong. Like, bruh, nobody's perfect. Kirby ain't perfect. Bobo ain't perfect. Everybody got room for improvement. So just because I speak on them don't mean that I don't trust them. I do trust them. I just feel like sometimes you make some bonehead mistakes just like your players do out on the field. And I think you might have made a mistake with not starting Ryan Puglisi over Gunner Stockton. I think you might have made a mistake. The only reason I say that is because, once again, in the fall scrimmages, who threw for a touchdown and who didn't? In game 1, who threw for a touchdown? Yeah, Gunner did, but thanks, all credit to Zachariah Branch. So, I don't know, man. Am I overreacting? I don't think that I'm overreacting. Not at all. I don't think that we're going to have a losing season. Don't get it twisted. I don't believe that we're going to have a losing season. But you know what I don't want? I don't want our defense on the field fatigued. I can't stand that. because that lets me know that the offense is not doing their job. I don't want the defense getting fatigued out there, because when that happens, you're looking at a loss. You're looking at a loss. Gunner had 2 touchdowns Saturday. What touchdowns? I must have missed it. I know that he ran for 2 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdown passes. I know he threw one to Zachariah Branch, but who else? I don't remember another touchdown. I might be tripping. Let me hold on now. I might have missed that. His game was so mediocre. I might have missed that. I probably did. Yeah. Was it one of the tight ends, right? London Humphrey. Yeah. That little, what was that? Like a 5 or 10 yard touchdown? 5 or 10 yard touchdown? I'm still not. But even with that, bro, y'all, is that enough to convince you? Is that really enough to convince you? Oh, then let me apologize to the Gonna Stop the fans. I'm sorry. He threw a touchdown to London Humphrey. It had to have been like maybe a 10 yard touchdown. He also threw a touchdown to Zachariah Branch. Thanks to Zachariah Branch. But I'm still not letting up off the gas on how I feel about Gunner Stockton. We gotta wait the week. Wait a minute, because I keep saying week 3. Is it week 3? Is it week 3? Yeah, we gotta wait till week 3 to see if this dude is a dog. Ransom said, I was disappointed that we didn't get his sack. I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't disappointed that he didn't get a sack. Now, Ransom, when you say he had 2 and 2, 2 slightly in the air and 2 on the ground, I get that. But on paper, it looks good. In the highlight, it looks good. But watching the full game, man, I forgot all about that. And I'm a dog fan. I cover the dogs. But I forgot that he even threw a touchdown to London Humphrey. I forgot. I ain't gonna lie. I forgot. I'm sorry, y'all. But his game was so, to me, mediocre, bro. It wasn't enough. And it's not like Gunner did anything to me or anything. It's more so where I saw it last season. I saw it versus, I guess when I made my opinion on him was against Notre Dame. And I was like, wait a minute. This dude looked like he's not prepared at all. And then versus Texas, it was okay. And everybody hyped up. Oh, when Gunner came out, everybody was ready. Ready for what? Ready for what? Ready for what? Come on, man. Tyler Simpson lost and still threw 244 yards. Couple touchdowns. Man, lost. What more can I say? What more can I say? Mondo said that touchdown to Humphreys was in a tight window between 3 Marshall defenders. But we talking about Marshall, so Mondo. Let's remember that we talk about Marshall. Like, let's remember who we talking about. Like, I feel you. I do. But, and don't get me wrong, I'll give him credit when he needs his credit. If he shows out against Austin Peay, which I will be live for, so y'all make sure y'all come into the live. We're going to sit around and we're going to chop it up about it. I might end the live and then come back after halftime, but I will be live for that game. If he shows out with Austin P, I'm definitely gonna give him all his credit. But I'm talking about all of the hype that's been about Gunna prior to the season coming in. And we didn't get to see none of that. Like what? Like, come on, man. 3 defenders for Marshall? Nah. Would he do that versus Tennessee in week 3? I don't know. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he does. Because I could have put my son in there, my 4-year-old son in there, to throw that little short touchdown. I could have, anybody could have done that. Cujo said, what's up, Cujo? Cujo said, even with the new receivers, Kirby and Bobo will be stuck in their ways trying to force them to run and screen. Yeah, them screens. I don't get that. I don't get all of this screening and it works. It does work on certain teams. It does. Say you going live Saturday, I will bring the Hennessy. Yeah, I'm going live, man. And make sure you bring the hen, dog. Even though I don't drink Henny, make sure you bring some because we gonna need it. Cause I'm not grading what we do Saturday. I'm grading Gunna solely. So am I putting pressure on that young man? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm putting pressure on him. I ain't grading nobody but Gunna Stockton. That's it. We won't really find out until Tennessee game. Yeah, we ain't gonna find out until then. It said, what Shabazz say that they got Gunna as a Heisman candidate. Man, please. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. It's too early, though. It's too early to say. It's too early. He can turn this thing around. All he got to do is throw the deep ball and be, for one, accurate, and 2, consistent. Cujo said Nate Frazier need to be graded too. We'll grade Nate Frazier also, but I think the biggest question mark is Gunna. So Nate Frazier is going to average at least 5 to 8 yards a carry. Nate Frazier ain't the one getting hit behind the sticks. Now, the guys that I did see get hit behind the sticks, even though they're young, I saw Chauncey Barnes getting hit behind the sticks. I definitely saw Bo Walker getting hit behind them sticks, but I didn't see that from Nate Frazier nor Dwight Phillips. So those guys are good in my book. They're doing what they should be doing. Are we gonna see DeAndre Swift type of 60-yard run? No, we probably not gonna see that. They're not. To me, in my opinion, if I'm the coach, I'm not even expecting to see that. I just need y'all to get me. I just need to get that first down. We just need to get close or get into the end zone. That's all we need. We don't need you to break out for a 100-yard run. We don't need that. I think that's what a lot of people get confused with because we so used to having such a dominant running back. I think we're so used to having running backs like that, so we assume that every running back that we get should have, a breakout 60-yard run, and that's not going to always happen. They're doing their job. And then you gotta if you're gonna grade the Nate Frazier, look, why is Nate Frazier being pointed out as, we should be grading Nate Frazier? That's what I don't understand. Nate Frazier did not have a bad game. He didn't have a bad game. Dwight Phillips just had a better game that game. But he didn't have a bad game. I don't know about that, Armando Black TV. Peanut is going to break some long TD runs this year. I don't know about that. It's too early to say. Him doing it against Marshall is still not enough. We talking about greatness, y'all. We talking about eliteness, y'all. We just played a team that was unranked, nobody knows about. And we're talking about what they're going to do, especially after seeing them play Marshall. Like I can't judge them based on Marshall, y'all. That's all. But what I can judge is the quarterback play. I can judge the quarterback game because against Marshall, you should have been throwing the deep ball. You shouldn't have been putting it like throwing bullets. And I'm looking for like every time he throw, I'm thinking he about to, cause I'm like, damn, this dude throws so hard. Like this ain't baseball. Come on, man. This is not baseball. I'm telling y'all right now, Gunner is gonna be causing pick sixes. I can guarantee y'all right now. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I can see it right now. If he constantly putting so much on that ball, overthrowing his receivers, I can see some pick six happening. I know everybody want to see Peanut. I know everybody want to see him. I'm glad to have him. Um, but we gotta play somebody, with a good defense first before I make my decision. I'm all about what you do against good defenses. I don't really care about the little small teams like Marshall and Austin P. That's not enough for me. I gotta see what you're gonna do versus a real SEC team. They haven't done he haven't done anything yet. So I'm not gonna be, you know, just over the top with what I think he gonna do until he plays somebody worth, playing. My opinion, Peanut will have come out game against Tennessee and take Nate Fraser's position. Wow. I'm gonna say this, Shabazz. I don't think that's gonna happen. But I think I want to see both of them. I don't want to see him take Nate Fraser's position. Either way it go, Nate Fraser is not going nowhere. So regardless of if he's RB1 or RB2, they're both gonna be 1-2 punching. It's gonna be a 1-2 punch regardless. So to me, I don't see him taking his position. I don't see what y'all see, but I don't see him taking a position. Nah. But what I do see is them having that 1-2 punch, as well as Cash Jones. Like, let's be real. Cash Jones is a reliable source too. Like, let's not put everything behind one player. I think we do that too much. Like, you still got Cash. Like, everybody play an intricate part, man. Everybody plays a role. I think we just so used to seeing guys have these breakout games at Georgia. I don't think we have that caliber of a player right now. It can happen. It can happen, but you got to play some defenses first, man. No reason Gunner didn't have 300-yard passing. Facts. Facts. Ransom said no reason Gunner didn't have 300 yards point blank. Facts. Point blank, period. 225 girl, what's happening? Once conference play comes, Gunner will throw a lot more. Noah, Zach, and others will be used more. I just don't want Gunner to just heavily rely on one receiver. Well, that's up to the receivers, right? And that's up to Mike Bobo. If Mike Bobo don't draw up some schemes to get these guys open, I mean, what can they do, right? And if these guys don't work hard at getting open, what can they do? Cash Jones need to be on defense, my opinion. Defense? Why the defense? Yeah, so don't get me wrong with this conversation, y'all. I'm hoping for the best for Gunner Stockton. Anytime you commit to that Georgia, anytime you commit to Georgia, you're a dog in my book. But you got to be a dog out on the field too. You know what I mean? You got to be a dog in my book. You can't come to Georgia with mediocre game plan. You got to, like, we're not the average SEC team. Like I told Kangaroo Black, man, we can't let the SEC get out of control. We're the controllers of the SEC. So we got to, you know what I mean? We got to step it up. And I'm glad that a lot of y'all rocking with me, that y'all understand that coaching is going to be questioned at some point too. Coaching has got to be questioned at some point, right? Because if you look at all of the quarterbacks that started for Georgia, what are they doing right now? In the Kirby Smart era, what are they doing right now? What's Jacob Eason doing? What's Jake Fromm? I think Jake Fromm selling insurance now. Shout out to him. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that has a job, but Jake Fromm is selling insurance. You know what I mean? Then you got what's the guy name? I can't even think of his name. The one that Stetson took his job. Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue. He ain't doing nothing. Stetson trying to get his start. I mean, make it make sense. Like, let's be real. We talking about track record, y'all. We ain't just, Now the defense, we know what they doing, and Kirby Smart is a defensive minded coach, so that's expected, right? JT Daniels retired, man retired. I think he had some head injuries, but it's not. I can't. It's not due to Kirby on why he retired or nothing like that. Yeah, he had some. I think he had some head injuries or something, right? JT Daniels would have been the first rounder if it wasn't not for his injury. Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like if you really want to do somebody's track record, I know that Kirby Smart is beloved and he's loved, but there's no star quarterback that has came from Georgia in the last 5 6 years right now. It's nobody's doing anything. Brock Vandegrift even retired after 1 year at Kentucky. I didn't know Brock retired. That's new to me because I was looking for him. I'm like, let me see what Brock doing over there at Kentucky. But I noticed it was a new quarterback, so I'm like, damn, Brock got his job took. But I didn't know he retired. That's new news to me. Shout out to Tutu Girl for that one. Wow. That's what I'm saying, y'all. And that ain't had nothing to do with Kirby. That didn't have nothing to do with. Cujo say, hopefully Jared Curtis or whoever can turn that around. Yeah, I hope so, man. Who y'all? Let me ask y'all a question. Who do y'all think is gonna eventually transfer out or leave? Who y'all think is gonna eventually transfer out and leave? I don't have an opinion right now on that one. I'm not sure. I would say, well, if I did say, I would say probably what Ryan Montgomery. Ryan Montgomery probably will. Um, but who do y'all think? Like out of the quarterbacks right now, who do y'all think would eventually transfer out? Because if we stick with Gunnar Stockton, somebody's leaving. If it let me just say this. Let me add this because I want to add context. If Gunnar Stockton is not doing great and we stick with him, yeah, somebody gone. I feel like Jared starting Puglisi or Montgomery. Yeah, I think it probably will be Puglisi or well, it might be Montgomery because only reason I say that is because Puglisi know he's the backup. Montgomery don't really have nothing going on right now, but with Jared coming in, yeah, I don't know where Montgomery's gonna fit in with that one. I you know I don't know what Jared Montgomery is. I mean, Ryan Montgomery gonna fit in with that one. Shabazz said Ryan. Yeah, I think so too. I think which Ryan, Puglisi or Montgomery? I think both of them named Ryan. I don't know. I just don't. I just feel like we be having some. It's a toss up between Puglisi and Montgomery, because Curtis isn't going to come to sit and wait. Now, you right too. Kurt, he ain't finna do that because he the best wide receiver in the wide receiver room. I mean quarterback room. I'm sorry, y'all. Ransom the Don said, "LOL, Brock 29." Just kidding. Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. I don't know, man. If gonna start struggling, put Ryan in ASAP. But Glissy could start day one on a lot of other teams. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. If Puglisi would have played in the first half, I believe, we probably would have seen who our real quarterback is. But we still gotta wait. Let me not jump the gun. We still gotta wait, y'all. Puglisi could start. Okay, yeah, yeah. So my honest opinion to it is just like I said, y'all. If this guy doesn't do better than what he did versus Marshall, we'll be having this conversation again. It's plenty of other conversations I would like to have, but we probably gonna revisit this conversation again if he doesn't. He's got to look. He threw for 2 touchdowns. Um, hmm, I hate to even say that, y'all, because them wasn't no legit. Anyway, he threw for 2 touchdowns last Saturday. Let's see if he can go for 3. Let's see if he can throw the deep ball at least. He gotta throw the deep ball, man. He gotta connect with the deep ball. Like I said, he gotta at least throw the deep ball. He gotta be accurate with it, and he got to be consistent with it. Now, is he a good manager? Yeah, he's managing the hell out this team. I feel like he's a good manager. Yeah, like I feel like he's confident. I don't see no like he's scared or anything like that, nervous or anything. I think he manages it well. He made some decent plays, but like I said, he almost got the ball picked off twice. He overthrew. I forget. It might have been. Was it Oscar Depp? He overthrew him and he underthrew him. I don't know. The only passes that were really complete was like them little 4 or 5 yard passes. I don't know, y'all. Yeah, let's see what we got in Stockton on Saturday. Let's see. Like I said, I'm gonna be live, so we're gonna do all the talking come Saturday. Hopefully I'm dead wrong. I ain't gonna lie. I really want to be wrong. I really want to be wrong. That's the thing about me. I'm a man, so I don't, care to be wrong. In this situation with my dogs, I hope that I'm wrong. If I remember right, there was one deep ball he tried, but Noah gave up on the route and tried to catch it with one hand. I don't remember, man, cause I just don't really remember. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Most of the deep balls that he did try to throw, they were incompletion. So I don't know if it was the receiver or him, but I know a lot of the stuff that I saw was on him. It was a lot of, like I said, Oscar Depp had to come back to the ball. He almost threw 2 picks. He is like I think he got it batted down one time as well as Ryan Puglisi. But I'm just not gonna be sold until I see him in week 3. I'm not gonna be sold. If he get through this test and with his arm, he's still like even versus Tennessee, he's still gonna have to throw the ball for me to be convinced. I don't care about you being able to score with your legs, bro. Like I don't care about that. I want you to see if you are well put together and a complete quarterback. Anybody can run all over the field, bro. Anybody can do that. But I need to see if you can throw that ball. Because you got to think, bro, like how many receivers come into Georgia and people get tired of coming to this team and only one receiver show up or 2 receivers show up. And everybody else just get put on a back burner, got a block and everything. Don't nobody want to. Come on, man. These guys want to make a name for themselves. They ain't coming to Georgia just to block. Mike Pearson, what's happening with you? We ain't gonna know what we got at quarterback until Tennessee. Yeah, we know that. Noah misjudged the ball on that one play. It should have been a 40-yard touchdown. Yeah, I'm not saying that, Gunner is the only reason, but he will be the one I'm looking to grade come Saturday. He will be the one. No, I'm not looking at the running backs. I'm looking at the offensive line too. I don't know about y'all, but the offensive line was kind of like, they did well. They did well. They could have done better, but they did well. We gotta keep these guys healthy also, because these injuries is a big thing for us. We don't have any major ones right now. I think Dalen Everett is still out. think he got an ankle situation. A couple of other guys are out. I know Juan Gatson. Um, but outside of that, I don't think we have no guys, with major injuries. Uh, so I don't know. I'm really concerned. Not as concerned as I was last season. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I'm not nowhere near concerned as I was last season. Um, I'm not on the edge of my seat. Like I wasn't on the edge of my seat. Obviously it was Marshall, so I had no reason to be. But last season we played a couple of peon teams and we were on the edge of our seats. So but like I say, this season I'm hoping for the best. All in all, at the end of the day, at the end of this conversation, all in all, I respect Gunner as a dog. Um, I want to see Gunner do well as a bulldog. I hope he does well this coming Saturday as well as the rest of the season. I hope we have a winning schedule. Um, I want to see breakout runs from Nate Frazier as well as Dwight Phillips, as well as Cash Jones, as well as Chauncey Bowens, as well as I keep forgetting their names, Bo Walker. I want to see Noah Thomas go out there. I want to see Kobe Young go out there in a 50-50 ball. I want to see Zachariah Branch continue to do what he do. I want to see the defenses flying up and down the damn field. KJ Bolden blocking punts. I want to see all of that. Right? But only time will tell. Only time will tell. I'm gonna read a couple of these comments before I get out of here, man. It's 7:18. I've been on for about an hour now, so yeah, I'm gonna read a couple of these comments before I get up out of here. Cujo said Drew Bobo need to learn how to snap the ball when somebody jump off sides. Cujo say Roger Robinson hurt like always. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with him. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't even gonna say that. Mono Black TV said we're gonna need Gatson and Green back for the team for the Tennessee game. Definitely. Mono Black TV said we could not run the ball against UMass last year, and that was so sad, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Michael Pearson said hopefully the offense can build a rhythm and start rolling in the meat of the season. The defense go crazy potential. Yeah, the defense always gonna go, but we got Kirby Smart. The defense is gonna always be hard. Cujo, I want to see Taylor ball out if he play. I don't know if I don't see him playing. Especially Saturday. We probably see him Saturday. Man, C said I think they treated the game as a scrimmage. Ransom said UMass was on our. You ain't lying, boy. I was on the edge of my seat the whole game. You ain't lying, boy. They had our number, boy. Them boy wasn't playing with us, boy. I ain't lying. I needed that laugh. Anyway, man, y'all already know what it is, man. I appreciate everybody coming off in the live. This is where we end the conversation. Appreciate everybody coming in the live. Appreciate everybody staying down with me, man. Y'all family to me. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't a lot of us that do it, but I'm trying to do it and keep it going. So the journey has been long. It's been very difficult, but I appreciate all y'all. So for those who ain't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. This is the Dawgg House. I'm your host, Major. And I'm out, baby. Go Dogs.